إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونعوذ به من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على دين كله ولو كره الكافرون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن آياته أن خلق لكم من أنفسكم أزواجا لتسكنوا إليها وجعل بينكم مودة ورحمة إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يتفكرون. وبعد. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the Almighty Allah Azza wa Jal has created us from dirt. He has created Adam alayhi salatu salam from dirt, and from Adam he created Eve, Hawa, and then there was procreation. Up to today we have that. So we have to understand therefore that man, we came from one being, and Allah Azza wa Jal wants from us a particular type of behavior, and that when he has sent his Rasul sallallahu alayhi wasallam to instruct us, he's hoping and he wants from us and he is commanding us that we must follow Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam in what he has ordered us. Now Allah Azza wa Jal has created us, as he says in the Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا, that he has created from amongst us our spouses, meaning that we get our spouses from within our own species. We do not have to go beyond our species. So within ourselves, within humankind, you have our spouses. So we get married to each other. And this is a very important institution in Islam. Because when people fall in love with each other, or when we have a desire to have someone of the opposite sex, then we get married. As Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, "An-nikahu min sunnati faman raghiba an sunnati falaysa minni." That marriage is from my tradition. Whosoever is not desirous of my tradition, then he's not from amongst us, or he's not from amongst me. Now this is very important, because if it is that we want to get together, male and female, because we love each other or we desire the person of the opposite sex, then the way to do it is through marriage. And this is where he's saying, "Nikahu min sunnati." So if people want to have intimacy with someone, then they have to get married. And it's a big no-no if you're looking at someone from your own gender. And this is called homosexuality or lesbianism, as we know. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam spoke about that. He said, "La'ana Allahu man amila amal ahli Lut." That Allah has cursed those people who do the action of the people of Lut. And the people of Lut were the first set of homosexuals that came on the face of earth. And they were destroyed because of that. And he also said in a hadith referring to the punishment in an Islamic state, the punishment in an Islamic state of the people who are homosexuals, he says, "Faqtul fa'il wa maf'ula bih." Or kama qala Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then you must kill the people who, the person who did it and to whom it was done. Once that person was, he accepted it and all that. It was, he desired it as well. So, marriage is what we have here that Allah Azza wa Jal has installed for us if we want to have someone of the opposite sex. If it is our desires, are there and we need someone. So, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, as Allah Azza wa Jal says in the Quran, وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ أَنْ خَلَقَ لَكُم مِّنْ أَنفُسِكُمْ أَزْوَاجًا لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So from his signs that he has created for you from amongst you your mates, so that you will dwell in tranquility with them. لِتَسْكُنُوا إِلَيْهَا. So you will dwell in tranquility with them. وَجَعَلَ بَيْنَكُمْ مَوَدَّةً وَرَحْمَةً. And he has made between you mawadda, love, and mercy. So we have tranquility, we have love, and we have mercy. Now people, before they get married, in most cases, they know who they are going to get married to, and they feel a sort of tranquility within them because they know they're going to get married to this person. There's love. There's a lot of love. Plenty love. Love flowing all over the place. Inshallah, not in a haram way, but they feel it within themselves. And there's mercy because they care. They care about the other person. If the person gets sick, they'll go and visit them quickly. This is what happens before marriage in most cases. There's tranquility to an extent. There's love and there's mercy. But Allah Azza wa Jal, He's speaking about this tranquility, this love and this mercy after marriage. He's speaking about it after marriage. That after you get married, you are supposed to be tranquil. You are supposed to dwell with tranquility and peace. You are supposed to dwell with love and mercy with your wives and husband. It is not that before that, yes, you love them and that's why you get married to them. And mashallah, nothing is wrong with that because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, La yura lil mutahabaini mithlu nikah, that nothing like marriage is seen for two people who are in love. Nothing like marriage is seen for two people in love. So, you get married because you're in love, nothing is wrong with that. But the tranquility that is there, you have to work with your husband, you have to work with your wife to develop that tranquility, to develop the love, the real love, and to develop the mercy that would exist between both husband and wife. It's easy to get married. You have to work at staying married. Just as how it is very easy to become to have children, but to be a father and a mother, it takes a lot of effort. You just can't have children and say, okay, I'm a father, I'm a mother, and the children will grow up by themselves. It takes a lot of effort and patience. So too in marriage, it takes a lot of effort and patience, and you have to work at your marriage every single day. Do not be fooled. You have to work at your marriage every single day. So if you figure you have found your soulmate, you figure that this girl, yeah, she's just like me, she's thinking just like me, she's the perfect person for me. Or this boy, as the case might be. MashaAllah. But that doesn't make a marriage. You have to actually get married, and you have to actually live with each other. Bringing in all the love, the tranquility, the peace, the mercy that Allah Azza wa Jal speaks about in the Quran. So you need, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I should say we need to bring in all these little aspects, they are actually big aspects of our marriage, big elements of our marriage into our marriage. And if we do not bring these things into our marriage, we will fail. We will fail miserably. We will not be following what the Quran is telling us to do. Peace and tranquility, love and mercy. And this is why he says, Inna fi dhalika la'ayatin liqawmi yatafakkarun. Indeed, in that a sign for those people who ponder and think. Look at the love that is supposed to be existing and that exists between a husband and a wife. And the mercy and the tranquility. So, in Islam, marriage is very important. Shaitan does not want people to remain married, as is evident in what is going on in our society. People don't want to get married again, they just want to shack up. That's a term we used to use a long time. They just want to live together without having that commitment of being married. And we have to be very careful that we do not follow the kuffar in their thinking. And in spite of the laws and the rules we have in Islam, we still have a lot of brothers and sisters engaging in zina, adultery and fornication. So there was this couple, very nice, living together for over 10 years, no problem. Then the husband committed zina. And then he didn't want to stop texting the girl. So the wife was willing to try to work for the relationship still after she learned about it, on condition that he completely cuts off himself from the girl. But he kept on texting and phoning and whatnot. And that was it. The marriage is broken. So this is what shaitan wants. And as we say, everything that glitters is not gold. You know, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has warned us that the thing he feared most upon the men is the fitna of the women on the men. The fitna of the women on the men. He feared that more than the Dajjal. La ilaha illallah. The Dajjal is only coming at one time. The Dajjal, he's coming at one time. He's coming at the ending of the time. And when he comes there, the Isa alayhi salatu wasalam and the Mahdi will be there. So his fitna exists at one particular era. But the fitna of the women on the men has existed from long time ago, from the time of Cain and Abel. It has existed to our time and is going to exist until the last day. And because of that, my dear brothers and sisters in Islam, we can destroy ourselves and our family life and destroy the community. Look at the mayhem we are witnessing in the West. Look at what is happening here. And we have to be very, very careful of the instruments that we have at hand with respect to our telephones, our cell phones, the computer, and whatever other gadgets we may have. All these new things that have been invented and brought to light. We have to be very, very, very careful. Use it for halal or haram. So, shaitan does not want us to be married. Shaitan wants us to be disunited and broken up. So he would send his helpers out and they would go and do their mischief. You know, they come and they whisper in our ears. We don't hear voices in our ears. If you're hearing voices in your head, you should go and get a checkup. But they come and they influence us. They influence us in our thoughts. So they would come back to shaitan in the evening or whenever, and they would report to him what they would have done. And he would acknowledge them and whatnot. And then this one jinn, this one evil jinn, will come and say, I caused this man and his wife to break up. And he would call him and say, yeah, you come, you're the one, come and sit right by me. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, the family unit, the strength of the family unit is the strength of the society. It is haram for us to get together with the girls or the girls with the boys, except if we are married. And you all know what I'm talking about with respect to, I'm not talking about people who are mahram and all these things. I'm talking about when there's a desire for someone of the opposite sex. And we have to be very careful we do not get pulled in again by what has been happening in our society. So recently again, and this is how serious evil, you know, as Allah says in the Quran, ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. That corruption and evil have appeared on the land and the sea because of what the hands of man have done. So He, Allah, will give them a taste of what they have done and what they have earned. Perhaps they will return to submission to Him. And again, you know, yesterday I went to Port of Spain to register a marriage. So I went in, and the girl there, she took the book and she carried it, and then the supervisor came with the book. And there were two marriages there, but one was to be in Chagonas and the other one there in Port of Spain. And she was looking at the Chagonas one. I said, no, just the top one alone. And then I told her that I forgot to mention to the girl that it's only the top one. And she told me, it's a boy. And I asked her, I said, you're kidding me? She said, no, it's a boy. I said, okay. So I was amazed because there was a ponytail and a bun, like, you know, tied in a bun with a woogie. There were, I got these details afterwards. There were fingernails painted in green and a kind of maroon color like, pink lipstick, pink shirt and a girl's pants. La ilaha illallah. Okay, and now they are begging for their rights, and according to what is happening in the world, they will get their rights to get married. Okay, and this is evil that is coming, more and more evil. And if that is passed, then we still have to give them da'wah. And there are Muslim people who have children who are inclined towards homosexuality, and some of them have become Muslim people. Don't throw them out. Try to cure them. It's a disease. If we have Islamic law, that's something else. We do not have Islamic law, so we have to try to see what best we can do. Invite them towards Udu'u ila sabili rabbika bil hikmati wal maw'idhati al hasana. Invite to the way of your Lord with hikmah and good counsel. So this is what is left for us. Make dua, a lot of dua. And I feel for the brothers and sisters out there who are inclined thus, and I feel for their parents and their family who may be very ashamed and embarrassed. But let us see what we can do to help the situation. So this is just some of what is happening because homosexuality breaks up the family unit as well. Okay, and recently I also heard that they want that whenever they get a form to fill out, this is something very new. I haven't been able to verify, but this is what I heard. That under gender, they want to put nil. Neither male or female, they want to put nil, and Allah knows best. So it's becoming more and more ridiculous. And this is what is happening in our society, is what is happening in the world. Recently, I believe it was in Saudi Arabia, the American embassy there, they had a day where they were applauding the rights of the gays in Saudi Arabia. I think it was Saudi Arabia. You know, so what can we do? Eventually, they are going to put pressure on the Islamic countries to open their doors to gays. They are going to try to do it. We have to stand up. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best of nation, evolve unto man, and we know why. تأمرون بالمعروف. You are enjoying what is right, you forbid what is wrong, and you believe in Allah. And we do not care what anybody tells us and curses us and fights us and oppresses us and kills us for that matter. We do not fear the criticism of any critic. We have to stand by what is right. We have to enjoin what is right and forbid what is wrong. And the family unit is what is right. And we have to build our family units. My dear brothers and sisters in Islam, I know we may be getting some problems in our marriage. Sometimes the wife is at fault, sometimes the husband is at fault. But you don't have to be violent because of that. You don't have to go and beat your wife and she looks at the, you know, I'm not saying it's halal to do it, but it happens. The wife looks at a man or so and she gets licks. How many women do we look at and who beats us? How many women do we look at? And when your wife tells us about it, you can say, I'm a man, I could do that. La ilaha illallah. That is not the attitude. If you want to keep your marriage good, if you want to obey Allah Azza wa Jal, if you want to maintain this very important edifice in our society, we have to change the way we behave, especially us, my dear brothers and sisters. Us men, we, the men, we have to change the way we think about our marriage to our wives. And of course, the sisters, there are a lot of things in which they have to change. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam tells us in the hadith, Istawsu bin nisa'i khayra. Treat the woman nice. فَإِنَّهُنَّ خُلِقَ مِنْ ضِلَعٍ. Because they have been created from the rib. وَإِنَّ أَعْوَجَ شَيْءٍ فِي الضِّلَعِ أَعْلَاهُ. And the most crooked part, bent part of the rib is the higher part of it. فَإِنْ ذَهَبْتَ تُقِيمُهُ كَسَرْتَ. And if you go to straighten it out, you're going to break it. You can't straighten a rib. You're going to break it. وَإِنْ تَرَكْتَهُ لَمْ يَزَلْ أَعْوَجْ. And if you leave it alone, it will still be bent. فَاسْتَوْسُوا بِالنِّسَاءِ خَيْرًا. So treat the woman good. In another hadith, he tells us, وَقَصَرْتُهُ طَلَاقُهُ. If you were to straighten it and you break it, that is like giving her talaq. Meaning that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam has told us about the emotional aspect of the woman. This is why two women equal to one man when you're having witnesses. And sometimes they can't fast and pray. So there's a little shortcoming in their emotions and a shortcoming in their deen with respect to that. And he has warned us about that. He has warned us about all these things. And when something happens, we behave as though we are the ones have these shortcomings. We become more emotional than they. We have to change that. Maybe it's because of what is happening in our society. We are supposed to be a little more stern. You know, we are considered to be the sterner sex, they are the fairer sex. It's like it's switching around sometimes. Sometimes we behave as though we are the ones having our monthlies. I mean, subhanAllah, it happens. Some of the brothers, they behave like that. Astaghfirullah, that I should say something like that. But this is what happens. We pull our tantrums and all these things. That's not the way to behave. So if there's some sort of difference of opinion or something, you know, someone has done something that is insensitive, there's no reason to get on as though you're fighting a war in Afghanistan or something. This is your wife that Allah Azza wa Jal has described her. Hunna libasul lakum. They are your protection. And this is what you're going to do with what Allah Azza wa Jal has given you as protection to mistreat. So we need to think about it, and we need to change around the way we look at our wives and our children. May Allah Azza wa Jal bless us and keep us on the path of Islam, and may He indeed make us strong and strong-minded in our iman, in our thoughts, that we will hold on to the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we will not be bothered by all the nonsense and misguidance that is happening around us. Ameen. Aqulu qawli hadha wa astaghfirullah li wa lakum wa lisa'iril muslimina min kulli dhanb fastaghfiruhu innahu huwal ghafurur rahim.
طلع البدر علينا من ثني